what I found is like when you are vulnerable and are able to open up, you're gonna reach a lot more people. Here's the true Trent. You know what I mean? Here's the true stash. Like I freaking care.
True stash.
To rebuttal you 8, 9, 10 times until you just slam the door in your face as to why we can't inspect your roof. Because I'm here, let's do this now.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Let's do a little role play.
Right. Knock, knock, knock.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Todd. I'm with Shingle Monkey. Just actually helping out a couple of homeowners down the street go through their insurance process. I was just curious about the last time you've had the roof inspected or your gutters cleaned out.
Todd, we've had a bunch of you guys knock on the door, man.
Totally get that, man. Did anybody get up there and actually physically check it out, like here to there?
Dude, I really just don't have money for an insurance claim.
Well, I mean, what I would say is this. Why don't we just check it out and see what your roof condition is? Did anybody actually share any photo documentation and let you know how much time is left on this roof or roundabout?
No, but man, I just really don't have any money.
I get it. I mean, I'm not asking for $1 today. All I want to do is physically get up there and inspect the roof and at least give you some peace of mind, let you know, hey, this thing's got 3 more years, 4 more years, or hey, you're at the end of life and you should probably start planning and saving for something here.
Bro, you were a fucking
Let's
stud.
get up there, and whether we want to look at it or not, like that's that mindset shift that you have to have. Like what Todd said, like you got to have somebody that's around you. And there is, I guarantee, like people who are struggling, there is somebody in their ear at some point in their life being like, hey, dude, let me help you get to rehab. Let me take you here. Come out with me. You know what I mean? God always puts somebody, something in your life to help you get out of the situation, no matter how deep that hole is. I don't care where you came from. You can have the same stuff, you know what I mean? And I don't live like flashy or anything like that, but I have what I want, and I'm content. So now let's get them exactly what they want, you know what I mean? That's the whole point of being a leader. I'm a big emotional person. Like I love it to teach people that you don't need to come from anything. I don't care what your past is or what you've been through. Like it doesn't matter. Like when you change your mindset, your whole life can go to the moon.
Sack up. Yo, welcome back to Sack Up. Guys, the power of social media never ceases to amaze me. We were just talking about it's not what you know, it's who you know, and your network is your net worth. I'm sure you guys have heard that a million times on social media, but it is so true. And the guest on today's show I actually met through social media, Instagram specifically, through a friend of a friend. And Trenton, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here.
We also have Todd, who is the sales manager.
Yeah, that's right.
Over at Shingle Monkey. Jair, of course.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Co-host of the show. I actually don't know if you announced that yet.
No, but now we're announcing it.
They're
now.
about to find out.
What's up, guys?
So, dude, Shingle Monkey. That's crazy. Like, what a crazy name. And, dude, your mustache is fucking unreal.
Stash will save you cash every time.
The stash will save you cash. I love it. So, let's rewind. Let's go back to the beginning. I want to start, actually, before you guys even met.
Yeah.
Like, when you were growing up, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I met you through Cosmo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tell me a little bit about, growing up. What was that like?
Yeah. Born and raised in Ashland, Ohio. That's Cosmo, who works for you. A couple years younger than me. He was, I believe, my brother's grade. I believe they were in the same grade. So always had that connection with him, whatnot, just following over the years. But, yeah, grew up in Ashland, Ohio. After that, I was a diesel mechanic straight out of high school. Didn't really, played sports, but didn't have the smarts to get into college or anything like that. So went straight into being a diesel mechanic, wrenching. Always kind of had that wrench mindset, always tinkering with stuff, cars, whatever it was. And then from there, I actually, the owner of the diesel mechanic shop, he started having me do his personal vehicles, motorcycles, and things like that, detailing them. He didn't have a detailer. Ended up getting into the detailing world through that. Was doing his stuff so much, I was like not even being a mechanic anymore. I'm like, this is pointless. But I got so good at doing his stuff, and he was so crazy OCD with his own personal vehicles and whatnot, that I had become a really good detailer at that point. So other people were reaching out to me. So I ended up starting my own detailing company off of that, basically. Did that all the way up until 2020 during COVID, and then COVID kind of took a crap for all the detailing world, with the virus and all that garbage.
People just weren't calling you?
Yeah, I mean, my shop in Bedford basically shut down, because of it, we were non-essential or whatever, which is crazy because we're cleaning cars.
So you're not a mobile detailer. You had a physical location.
I had a physical location, yeah.
Okay.
basically that shop in Bedford, we were processing all the cars for dealerships up on the Bedford Auto Mile. So we were processing anywhere from 300 to 500 cars a month.
Wow.
Through details, yeah.
Damn, you grew that fast.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, yeah. I started out, after I left, I had a 98 Honda Civic. I would take a pressure washer and I would go basically knock doors, basically, to wash people's cars for 30, 40 bucks or whatnot to get me going. Build a good resume off that, and then to a point where I had my first shop in Worcester, Ohio. It was called Autofocus, focused on the details. And then I had a connection with the Chevy of Worcester plant, and they're like, hey, we have this shop up here that would accommodate for body work, details for all of their, basically they had 2 dealerships up there, and they wanted us to be like the sister company to process all their cars. So we ended up, instead of doing personal stuff, we were doing dealership work at that point, processing all their vehicles. Then COVID happened, and basically, like, I was just kind of burnt out from detailing, to be honest, man. Like, it was just nonstop dealership. I mean, Todd knows dealership world, it's like roofing, it's cutthroat. It got too corporate, just too chaotic, and I'm like, man, I need to do something else in my life. So during COVID, I told my wife, I'm like, listen, like, I'm going to take a leap of faith. Like, let's just quit doing all this. And then I had a buddy, Justin Mosier, who's with At Your Service. They're pretty well known. He hit me up, and he's like, hey, dude, like, you ever thought of the roofing industry? Like, you have great persona. Like, why don't you hop in the roofing industry? So I literally, it was between them and the Third Estimate, and I literally flipped a quarter on who I went with, and it was the Third Estimate. Started selling for them. Didn't know anything about roofing or any type of sales tactics. You know what I mean? It was just me.
Flipped a quarter.
Literally flipped a quarter to see if I would go with, I think he was with Royalty Roofing at the time, or Third Estimate. Flipped a quarter in my garage. And I was like, you know what? We'll go here. My wife's like, cool. Like, it's straight commission. I'm just going to, same thing with the detailing. I'm going to bet on myself, and I'll figure it out one way or another. One of the guys that were there, he was doing the insurance work and kind of like taught me that industry as far as how to get people roofs for their deductible and just notifying damage and things like that with proper inspections. So I'd gotten so busy with that, I basically started promoting on Facebook, and people would start hitting me up for all their inspections or needs or wants, and got big with them. Ended up in a manager role. Created a franchise out in Toledo area for Third Estimate, and then left to join Next Gen Restoration out of Solon, which moved us back over to Medina area where we wanted to be. And then I liked some of the stuff that they were bringing to the table, but it was just like, at the end of the day, I'm like, man, like, I could do this. I've tried to take all the good that I've seen, from companies that I've been with, but then like negate as much bad out of it. And create my own kind of core business from it. And so I learned a lot from both of those companies, but I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go start my own company.
So you've always been a leader?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have.
Yeah. So, Todd, where do you play a role into this? How did you two meet?
I think we met, actually. I was telling him just the other day, I'm like, damn, I remember the Next Gen truck down in Medina. So my son goes to a daycare in Medina, and seeing him getting out of the truck one day, I was in roofing at that time. I was working for a competitor, Chappelle Roofing, out of Brunswick area, and just kind of bumped into him. Was like, hey, what do you do for them? Are you a project manager? Are you a production guy? That kind of thing. I think he flipped me a business card. I probably
not a quarter.
Not a quarter. Yeah, I think I probably started, what everybody does, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, try to find them, follow them, that kind of thing.
For sure.
And then just never really linked up with him at Next Gen. Was focusing on where I was at, and just kept following him on, Instagram and social media, and then just kind of seeing him progress and to where, Shingle Monkey's at today, and then was like, hey, this looks kind of cool what you got going on over there. Why don't we meet up? And then, met up with him at a build in Brunswick area, and just, did a quasi interview, if you will. And was like, okay, I'm thinking I'm liking what you got going on over there. Let's see if we can take it to the next level and refine the processes and put, structure into place, and, take it from where you're at, which is a little bit of wild west, which is great, and get it to where, a company like you guys like Roof King to where you're at, like that next level.
I don't know about all that, but I appreciate you saying that. It's so funny. There was a real estate guy that I followed here in Columbus, and he would always get on social media and he'd be talking about the systems and the processes. And it like got to the point where to me it was like cringe. And it's so funny because that's all we're focused on now is the systems and the processes. And it's like if you can actually really dial those in, that's how you can scale quickly.
Yeah.
I was talking to an owner yesterday, and he's got 8 guys. They're here in Ohio. They're probably doing 8 to 10 million a year, and they're pretty much all sales reps. They have one production guy. He sells 2, and I was like, well, he came in and we were doing training. We do daily training. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have a 9:30 to 10 o'clock virtual huddle. And then from 10 to 11 or 10 to 12, we literally have in-person training, or if they're up in Cleveland or down in Dayton, they can't make it, they tune in virtually, but every day of the week other than Saturday and Sunday. So I asked this guy, I said, how are you doing your training? And he looked at me, he's like, well, I don't do training. I'm like, well, hold on. You said you're doing like 8 to 10 million. Like, how are you getting most of your business? And he's like, oh, we're knocking doors. I was like, well, do you role play? He's like, no, we don't role play. And I'm just like thinking to myself, what am I doing wrong? Like, we're pouring so much time and energy into our guys. And I'm talking to my production director, Tony, and he was like, well, dude, you got to think about it. You're laying the systems and the processes so that you can actually go do something like you were talking about, Trenton. You can go do, like, record a podcast or, whatever else you're doing, and the company's not going to fizzle out. If that owner is to potentially stop selling, that's 1/5 of their income. Right. If him and the production manager stop selling, that's half of the income. So they're going to fizzle out quickly. So, it's so funny that you mentioned that because I used to get so turned off by those words, systems and the processes. Every time, every social media post, I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Right. Like, you don't even, what are the systems and the processes? But, dude, that's all we're focused on now. So I'm actually kind of interested. I always like to ask people, like, you guys have been around for, 2-3 years. Like, what are your guys' goals for 2026? Like, main goals.
I would say, the main goal is basically to create those systems and processes. Like, we didn't have anything in place. Like, last year, like you said, how that other guy was, like, I would say 80% of the sales last year was from me. You know what I mean? Like, going out, meeting homeowners or whatever, or just gifting, you know what I mean? Like, as I'm should, just getting leads off Facebook nonstop. And this year it was like, man, like, I just want to stop. I don't want to stop being Wild Wild West, but I want to critique it. You know what I mean? I want to create, like you said, the team meetings, the trainings and things like that. And that's why I sought after Todd so much, because I saw that he had those, a little bit of retail backing to it, the one call close, stuff like that. We need to create processes like that to get us to the next year. This past year we did 3 million. It's like, how do we get to 5? How do we get to 7? You know what I mean? It's definitely attainable. Last year I was just running around with my head cut off myself, basically, with a couple, part-time guys. It's like, if I can do that myself, like, how do I teach people to do what I do? A lot of people, other companies, they're doing the physical knocking. What I want to try and train my guys is how to do the digital knocking. That's where all my leads and stuff came from, straight through, organically through Facebook. So it's this year, the goal is to get those systems and processes, to get these people trained up, and then learn the rest. You can be a little Wild Wild West, but if you have that good foundation, you're going to be a killer.
Dude, the digital door knocking is huge. You guys obviously know Lee Haight.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And he is all about the digital door knocking.
Yep.
So how does being in the auto industry play a role into this?
I think just
Don't say systems and processes.
No, I'm not going to say systems and processes. I was going to say the, rebuttaling for me. Like, I do like the door knocking, the physical knocking on doors. So being that I spent, 13, 14 years in automotive, working a wide variety of front house roles, everything from internet, floor sales, internet director, to used car manager and, GSM type closer. Hearing everybody's bullshit, basically, like, excuses as to why they can't do something today, and just then refining that into, like, hey, I'm going to probably rebuttal you 8, 9, 10 times until you just slam the door in my face as to why we can't inspect your roof. Because I'm here, I'm right, in your face. Let's do this now.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Okay, so what do you got? Let's hear it.
So,
let's do a little role play.
Right. Knock, knock, knock.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Todd. I'm with Shingle Monkey. Just actually helping out a couple of homeowners down the street go through their insurance process. I was just curious about the last time you've had the roof inspected or your gutters cleaned out.
Todd, we've had a bunch of you guys knock on the door, man.
Yeah, totally get that, man. Did anybody get up there and actually physically check it out, like here to there?
Dude, I really just don't have money for an insurance claim, honestly.
I hear you. Well, I mean, what I would say is this. Why don't we just check it out and see what your roof condition is? Did anybody actually share any photo documentation and let you know how much time is left on this roof or roundabout?
No, but, man, I just really don't have any money.
I get it. I mean, I'm not asking for $1 today. All I want to do is physically get up there and inspect the roof and at least give you some peace of mind, let you know, hey, this thing's got 3 more years, 4 more years, or hey, you're at the end of life and you should probably start planning and saving for something here.
Man, someone actually hit my truck last month. I had to file a claim on that, pay my deductible. And honestly, if I file another claim, I'll probably get dropped.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. These events that we're talking about, these weather events that we had back on like December 29th, we had a high wind event come through this area. It's what we call like an act of God. So the insurance carrier actually cannot physically raise your rates based on you filing a claim on that event. So I'm not saying you have the same damage that Mrs. Smith down the street had.
Bro, you were a fucking
Let's
stud.
get up there and just check it out, man. And, hey, it takes me about 10 minutes. My ladder's right here.
Damn. Okay, sure. Get the fuck up there. Bro, the thing that I love about that is you're not discrediting anything I'm saying. You're acknowledging it and then moving past it. And the biggest thing is, like, I'm not asking for any money. It's just peace of mind.
Yeah.
Dude, that was really good. I'm actually very impressed. So there it is, folks. All right, that's it. That's the end of the podcast.
We're done.
Dude, that was really good.
So with that being said, right, what do you think is one of the biggest things about door knocking that people don't know that they should implement into like every day?
I just think it's easy for someone who doesn't have like the sales acumen to get discouraged pretty quickly when people are telling them, hey, I've had another roofer out, or yeah, I went through this process and XYZ company couldn't get it done. Like, I love actually taking a denied claim that is maybe like, say, a year old and getting in there and being like, well, hey, wait a second. Like, where were you at in the process? Maybe the homeowner knows. Maybe they have no idea. I can think of a time where I was in Brunswick knocking doors in a neighborhood, a lot of resistance because a lot of other roofers had been through there and kind of run through the neighborhood, so to speak, grabbing the easy low-lying fruit, so to speak, claim-wise, and leaving some of these ones that are a little bit more difficult, or the State Farm claims or the Allstate claims, which we all know are just, it's a process. You have to know their 10-step process to get that claim approved. Knocked on this lady's door. She's real hesitant. I was like, hey, look, I get it. You're working with whatever company. I'm not them. Let's just see what we can do. Let me make one phone call with you to State Farm really quick. Make a phone call. All they did was they didn't do a match test, right? They just placed some shingles up on the roof. I called it in, said, hey, let's see where this thing is at. Ultimately, like, it just got moved to a different adjuster. He looked at the file. I didn't even really do anything. They approved it and cut a check. We're doing that lady's roof like the following week.
Wow.
So
Love it. I think the big thing too with door knocking, like I said, I mean, I'm more of a digital knocker, but I have done some door knocking. And what we want to do, if you have the mindset, it's all about making money. Like, money's great. But what I try and instill with our guys and our team is, like, we are there to problem solve and create solutions for homeowners. It's creating that rapport, like just building that rapport with a customer. Like, what if that homeowner bringing knowledge to the homeowner that they have damage to their roof? You know what I mean? Most of these people have no clue how insurance works, or even heard of the insurance process. You know what I mean? Now I feel like in the industry and social media, like, most people are going to know about it now just because it's become a big thing in the last, I would say, 5 years. But like, one of my favorite door knocks I ever did, this guy actually, he just had a stroke, and he was not very he wasn't very verbal. He could write a little bit. And all I did was leave him my information. You know what I mean? I said, hey, I can understand you, but like, I don't feel comfortable doing this without like your wife here. You know what I mean? Left my information. The wife actually called me back thanking me so much, not to pressure him or whatnot to try and get on the roof. Called us back out, looked at the roof, got the roof approved. It was like a $55,000 roof that we saved them. Here to come find out, like, she was in tears, so thankful because they had like hundreds of $1,000s worth of medical bills because of his stroke. You know what I mean? Like, how heartfelt is that? Like, that is why I got into the industry. Like, people that don't have money that, like, you can go and help. You know what I mean? Again, because we are the professionals. We know all the loopholes and stuff like that. Obviously, if it's worth a claim, we're going to make a claim. You know what I mean? Creating things like that's what I loved about this industry is, like, I'm here to help homeowners. Maybe not just get your roof done, but, like, just give you a report and let you know where it's at.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's one of the biggest things for me too. And man, I've struggled with, I have a very addictive personality, and I think all entrepreneurs kind of struggle with some form of depression, whatever that looks like. And for me, it's like, I'm not doing this for me. I mean, I'll be honest. I get so much more gratification, from one of my guys or girls coming in and saying that they bought their dream car. They bought, they got married, or they, bought an engagement ring, or went on a vacation, or like, that's the shit that I'm doing this for. Helping the homeowner, like you just mentioned, like, the old lady that doesn't have any money and her roof is literally caving in. It's like, that's honestly what helps me get out of bed in the morning. It's not, I mean, the money and the freedom obviously is fantastic, but it's just so much bigger than that. And I think that roofing is a cheat code. I think that sales in general is one of the fastest ways to financial and time freedom. But like with roofing sales, specifically if you're in the insurance industry, you're not even selling anything. You're like literally giving a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 roof away for $500 to $1,000. It's honestly a no-brainer. So I think it really is. It's completely changed the financial trajectory of my life. I have a feeling you guys are probably in a similar boat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of my goal for, what Shingle Monkey is. Like, I became a good salesperson with these other companies and saw myself grow really quick. I've only been in the industry, since 2021. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to show people that it is possible. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have looked back when I was a kid, like if I would have had the stuff that I would have had now, I was never supposed to have this stuff. But if you put the time and the effort into it, you can get that stuff. It's all a mentality thing. So it's like, if I can create a company to teach these guys like on kind of and build their morales up, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care where you came from. You can have the same stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't live like flashy or anything like that, but I have what I want and I'm content. So now let's get them exactly what they want in life. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of being a leader and having a platform, to say, like what you said, man, like the joy of seeing somebody like go get their car or get an engagement ring or something like that. Like that's, I'm a big emotional person, as you can see. Yeah. Like I love it. But it is like, because
that's so fucking dope.
Yeah. But like, I didn't come from nothing. You know what I mean? Like, to teach people that, like, you don't need to come from anything. I don't care what your past is or what you've been through. Like, showing these guys, like, it doesn't matter. Like, when you change your mindset, your whole life can go to the moon. And like you said, how like you were just saying, like your faith, you know what I mean? Like, that's me. Like, I bet it all on God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do anything. It was a big stretch to even bring Todd on. I'm like, I don't even know if I can afford Todd. You know what I mean? I'm like, I probably can't, but I'm going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And he did. We made it work out. You know what I mean? And now he's going to help us grow the company. And my dream in one day is that, like, Todd's running the company,
Bro, you have a fucking amazing partner.
He's awesome.
Just the amount of passion, like, bro, that was honestly, like, super inspiring. And the thing about that is, like, that's going to trickle down into your organization. Yeah. So much. People are going to be able to feel that.
And I really do. Like, I hope people genuine see that. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of situations where, like, somebody doesn't have no money. Like, I might not even have it. I'll find a way to get it to give to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if I ain't got it.
I'm the same way, man. That's honestly, bro, I'm really glad you shared that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope. Have you always had that mentality, or like what forced you to start thinking that way?
No, I mean, I think I made like a little video of it, on Instagram not too long ago. Like, I used to think I had a Cooper curse. Like, our family was cursed, right? Like, we had a lot of love and a lot of religion in our family growing up, but it was us, you know what I mean? So when life like knocked you down, who was there? It was your family. So it's like, okay, but I always had this like just something on my shoulder that was just like, dude, like, nothing's ever going to go my way, or if like small things happen, a pop tire or whatever, I'm just like, dude, like screw this. My mindset would straight shift and like just start digging myself a deep hole. You know what I mean? And then it would get worse. Then it would get worse and it'd get worse. And until I swap that, now if like a tire pops, I'm like, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. It's going to happen either way. Changing. That's why I'm so big on like changing of the mindset. Like, look in the positive no matter what you possibly can. Because like I've been in deep, dark times. You know what I mean? Even in those deep, dark times, guess what? There's still some sort of light regardless. Like, you have to think about that. There is no darkness without light.
But what truth did you have to what truth did you avoid that once you faced it changed everything? Like, really changed that mindset, the Cooper curse.
That I'm my worst own enemy. You know what I mean? Like, I got to stop. I got to look in the mirror and be happy with who I am.
Yeah.
And I'd say for like the longest time, I wasn't happy with who I was.
So what changed that though? Was it your discipline? You just started, incrementally like changing your daily habits and then built confidence behind those habits, and that changed your mindset?
Yeah, honestly, I would say my wife. Like, meeting my wife, and when I met her, she had Skylar, so she was 1.5 years old. Like, just seeing the love and compassion, and she was always so, like, Trent, like, she promoted me. You know, I never really had anybody to, like, promote me. My wife was like, Trent, you could do, like, you're so smart. You could do anything you want in this world. You know what I mean? See, me, I never thought that. I'm just a dumb diesel mechanic, like, you know what I mean? I was the person that was always picked last or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I could do something, but I was never popular but not popular. You know what I mean? So I never really had anybody truly, like, promoting me. You know what I mean? Saying that I could do it. My wife was like, go for it, Trent. Like, my wife was not working when I got into roofing sales. So it was that much more like I had to put everything on my back to go kill it to make bread for the family. We had a house payment. I had a brand new truck. She had a brand new car. We had a 2-year-old. Like, she believed in me. I think having that belief, seeing someone truly believe in me and like, Trent, you can do whatever you want, put your mind to. And it was like, I got this.
The most important decision of your life is your wife, in my opinion, or your life partner.
Yeah. She's a killer.
There's no way I would be where I'm at without Brittany, because there's seasons of entrepreneurship, and like, everyone sees the glitz and the glamour on social media, and it's like, bro, entrepreneurship can be dark as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Like, you are literally by yourself. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars of payroll that maybe you can't make. You have loans out. If everything's going right, that's great. The team's doing fantastic. If everything's going wrong, guess whose fault it is? It's yours.
It's on you, yeah.
And it's like, there's so much pressure that people don't see. Of course, online it's like, oh yeah, I got a fucking Lamborghini or, a supercar or a yacht or, whatever. But it's like, behind that, there are struggles that literally no one will ever see.
For sure.
And like, it can get really, really dark. And honestly, that's, it sounds like you overcame that, and she played a major role in that. But, back to like the seasons of life, like, there have been seasons where Brittany has literally carried us, because I'm just reinvesting everything back into the company.
Yeah.
And, again, I think that is the most important decision I ever made. It sounds like you as well.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Choosing a good life partner will make or break you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I put, like I said, she was the best thing that happened to me. Really, like, boosted my confidence. You know what I mean? And not only that, believed in me. And when times like, you know what I mean? I had an alcohol problem. I'm coming up on 2 years sober now. Like, I put my wife through hell.
Congratulations.
You know what I mean? Being, boozed up nonstop all the time. My wife was still there. You know what I mean? Like, Trent, like, you're like, same thing. I got to look back in the mirror. You know what I mean? I'm not this person. I don't need alcohol to control me. And as soon as I left alcohol, that's when Shingle Monkey boomed. Because I got rid of, you know what I mean? I got rid of my crutch.
So you're 2 years sober from alcohol. Do you mind if I touch on that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with addiction. I don't necessarily think it's all substances, but I think there's some form of addiction there that, it's either competitiveness or whatever that quote unquote vice may be. So alcohol specifically, you know, you're going to a party, you're going out to the bar with the guys, you're going to watch the game. You watch sports?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do? It's like that scene in Talladega Nights where he's like getting interviewed and he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what do you do when you go out to like let loose, to have fun, to release the stress? Like, what is the new? You had to clearly kill a version of yourself.
Right.
So like, I guess I'm trying to help anyone that's listening that's struggling with addiction right now. Like, what do you have to replace it with something?
Yeah.
What do you replace it with?
My family.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me,
Just drop the fucking mic on us, bro.
yeah, for me, it would be I have a son. Not that I necessarily struggle with alcohol, different things over my past life and things like that. But the gym, I'm like addicted to it. Like you said, I think everybody's addicted to something. Like if I don't go, I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. I got to get there at least 4-5 times a week. If not, I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind.
I think another thing about entrepreneurship. I promise normally I'm like an upbeat guy, so
No, all good.
sorry I'm getting so fucking dark here, but like you get in such. There's a really good book I've read that I'll plug, and it's by it's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
You read it?
Yep.
Amazing book. I'm pretty sure, and I might get this wrong, I think he wrote that in like
the devil's it's like, if you're talking about the same book, it's like written in the devil's perspective.
Did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to it. We just read through it.
It is. It's him literally interviewing the devil. It's Napoleon Hill interviewing the devil. I listened to it before I read it, and I was listening to it in the car, and I almost couldn't get past like chapter 1 because it's literally 2 different voices.
Yeah.
And one of them is the devil. And it was just such an interesting perspective because people go through life. Well, sorry, back to what I was saying. There's the ADHD kicking in. He wrote that in like the 1940s or 50s, I believe. They didn't publish that until 2011.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. If they would have published that in the 50s or when he wrote it, he would have been crucified.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt because there are theories in that book that, drifting essentially. And as an entrepreneur, honestly, just as a human being, you can get into these rhythmic patterns of, we're all creatures of habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, generally, like water, we choose the least path of resistance, just naturally. So, like, as an entrepreneur, you mentioned going to the gym. How do you even get the motivation to go to the gym or to not drink alcohol? Like, if you're already at rock bottom, like, it's just like a black hole. It just, like, keeps sucking you back in. And it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, it's just one drink.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's just one workout. So I'd really like to actually hear your guys' perspective on, like, if someone is at that breaking point, what are steps that they can do to either, like, beat the addiction or motivate themselves to go to the gym?
I would say it's finding some like-minded people, because I think, like, you would probably say, your closest 2 or 3 people that you spend the most time around, do things with, talk to on the phone, text, what have you. If they're in that same mindset of like, hey, let's go out for a beer, after you get off work or finish doing whatever you're doing, then it's like really easy, like you said, just to be like, okay, yeah, that seems pretty easy. I can go out for a beer right now. Like, let's do it. Versus, hey, let's instead of doing that, let's wake up at, 6 a.m. and hit the gym. Like, I'm going to be picking you up at your house. So just finding good people, getting involved with your community, going to, if you're religious, going to a church and meeting some other people that maybe you wouldn't have associated with before. So that's, like, I would say a big thing for me is just being around like-minded people.
I 100% agree. You are a denominator of the top 5 people you hang out with, hands down.
Yeah, 100%.
I would love your perspective on that too, though, man. Like, if someone is at rock bottom, like, how do they even motivate themselves to get out of bed?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like, what is something that is light? Like, there has to be, and there always is, whether we want to look at it or not. Like, that's that mindset shift that you have to have. And like what Todd said, like, you got to have somebody that's around you. And there is, I guarantee, like people who are struggling, there is somebody in their ear at some point in their life being like, hey, dude, let me help you get to rehab. Let me take you here. Come out with me. You know what I mean? Like God always puts somebody, something in your life to help you get out of a situation, no matter how deep that hole is. There is no hole deep enough to not get you out of.
Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I mean, I totally agree. And just really just kind of like wrapping up what we've been talking about, I think it's very important. More than anything, like you guys say, you want to make an impact on people's lives. I think it's so important to know that at the end of the day, when we're all dead and gone, the last thing that people are going to remember is for how we treated them, how we impacted them. All the money in the world, all the assets in the world, yeah, you know, your family may be able to get them and friends and whatnot, but it's really about the impact. The longevity of your name is so important nowadays, I feel like, you know. And I feel like people nowadays, too, with all the social media and stuff, sometimes seem to forget that. So I'm really glad and I appreciate you guys saying all the stuff that you guys said, because I definitely connect with that 100%.
Yeah.
What's a trait that you guys absolutely will not tolerate nowadays? Because it seems like you both have a really good head on your shoulders now. If someone comes into the organization, they're like, yo, Trent, I want to work for Shingle Monkey, but they have this specific trait.
Laziness kills me, man. I mean, it really does. Just even when they have like so much potential, like just seeing laziness, like, I don't know. We talk about addictions, right? Like I traded, alcohol for just being all in on businesses. You know what I mean? I'm addicted to work. Same time, like I keep that family work life pretty at hand, I feel like now. But laziness just it cuts me so deep when I see somebody that has, because that's the thing, right? Like I'm looking into people. I'm not just looking at you. I'm seeing like what your potential is. Anytime someone, like when it comes to like remodeling houses, right? Anything like that, I love seeing something old and grungy, and I want to make it good.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like that's what God does with us. Like we're the clay, and He makes us into a masterpiece, right? So like I try and have that same mindset on life. But when somebody comes in and it's just lazy, it's like, man, you kind of kill any attribute trying to get you somewhere, because you can't be lazy in order to get anywhere.
So now with those people who are lazy, right, is there anybody, like, I guess you could say in general, that you see that has that potential but is lazy? Do you ever really kind of help them train to get out of that laziness? Like if you really see that potential in them? Or is it one of those things that you think that laziness is kind of hard to really kind of train yourself out of?
I mean, it all starts in the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone just doesn't, it's not clicking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or they're stuck in that rut or that hole, it is really hard to get out of it. Like I can lead you to the water all you want. You're going to drink it when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All I can do for that person is show them, here is what your potential is, and here's where you could be. You know what I mean? And here's step A to Z on how to get out of it. I've given you the platform, right? Like when you're doing your training, you're telling people and showing people how to make the sale and how to make money and to get where they want to go.
Absolutely.
But we can't force somebody to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We can only be there for them to get them to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I am so glad that you just said that, because it goes back to what I said earlier. This is such a unique opportunity. And, honestly, dude, you should pat yourself on the back. You've been in the business since 2021, and you're a multi-million-dollar company. You probably don't feel that way because you're comparing yourself to 100 people on social media that are massive business owners.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, we're constantly moving the goalposts on ourselves. So like you hit $1 million, well, now it's 3 million. You hit 3 million, now it's 10. You hit 10, now it's 100.
Yep.
Right? So it's never enough. And two things, one, I think that one of the biggest things that's given me peace is just accepting that, this is enough. Something was pointed out to me recently that there was no steering wheel in the Ark. And I thought that was so interesting because so often I try and control where my life is going. And it's like, it goes back to 11:11, which is so crazy because I swear I just looked at that and the time said 11:11. But that's my angel number, and it's like I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah.
But additionally, if you do have someone that you're just constantly trying to show them this is your potential, you're giving them this amazing, unique opportunity. This is your potential, and they're just constantly pissing it away, for lack of better words. And, you said loyalty was one of your strengths. It's my biggest strength, and it's also my biggest weakness.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
And I have people that I present these opportunities to. And I have spent more money on training my team than I have paid myself by a lot. I've spent so much time and energy developing. We have an entire Roof King University. Like, I'm positive that I could sell this to other company for tens of thousands of dollars. And my guys get this firsthand. And, I still encounter some people that they're just not capturing their full potential. So how do you really make someone realize what that potential is?
Man, I feel like there's a deeper hurt, or there's a deep, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to addiction and stuff like that, right? Like there's a deeper cause. Like for me with my addiction, like there was something in my past that was like holding me up. That's why I drank, So like for people like,
you were numbing yourself.
Correct. So like for people like that, there might be something, and you got to get to the deeper cause. What is causing them to have that mindset and or whatever habits? You know what I mean? It can't just be like we're looking on the outside. We got to cut deeper into them and really figure out. We got to get to their heart. You know what I mean? What's really going on behind closed doors, buddy? You know what I mean? What's going on at home? Why aren't you drinking this water that I'm bringing here to you?
What's the cost of staying the same as you are right now? That you just actually, I just had like a light bulb moment, so thank you. Because that's what I'm going to have to start pointing out is like, this is what you could be.
Yeah.
If you don't change, what's the cost of staying the same? And one of the most impactful things that I've ever heard was, no one likes change. Change sucks. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. And until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, you're not going to change.
I just did this on a video, but I'll read it real quick just because it ties into that. Your comfort is causing you to miss opportunities to knock on doors that your discipline has the key to unlock and open.
Whoa, hold up. I want you to say that again, but slower.
All right. Your comfort is causing you to miss opportunities to knock on doors that your discipline has the key to unlock and open.
Bro. Wow, we're dropping some heaters today. That's good, bro.
And it's basically, you know what I mean? Like, and that was me. Like, I just got back in the gym. It was one of the things like, man, I can't be an entrepreneur and be all over the place. I can't be a good father or a good husband if my health is lacking. You know what I mean? That's discipline on my point. It's going to make me a better leader. It's going to make me a better husband. It's going to make me a better father, a better friend, But yeah, I mean, I think too often, if we don't have the discipline, those doors are never going to open. You know what I mean? We'll be sitting here knocking on a door. If we had the discipline, you already got the key in your pocket to open that door.
Dude, will you text that to me?
Yeah, I got
that. That is brilliant. I really like that quote.
Yeah.
I just, it's, and honestly, dude, I really appreciate you being transparent and vulnerable, honestly, because it's really difficult for high performers to admit that something has control over them. It's honestly probably one of the hardest things for high performers to admit. I mean, anyone really, to come on a podcast. By the way, I just met Trenton in person today. So, dude, a lot of respect, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think my thing, what I used to do is like outside looking in, you know what I mean? Always wear wolf clothes, you know what I mean? On a sheep or whatnot. Like, and what I found is like when you are vulnerable and are able to open up, you're going to reach a lot more people. You know what I mean? Like, here's the true Trent. You know what I mean? Here's the true stash. Like, I freaking care.
The true stash.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's where for a long time, like, I wouldn't, like, outside my wife, like, I wouldn't allow people to have access to that. You know what I mean? Until recently, I went on a couple podcasts. Like, I do a couple Bible groups and stuff. Like, I open up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm freaking balling in there. You know what I mean? Just talk, like, because I care. Like, when I start crying, like, I have passion about it. You know what I mean? When I talk about my wife and my family, like it hits the heart. You know what I mean? When I talk about my team and my business, like it's in here. You know what I mean? It's not just a persona. Like it's real.
I think one thing that I've realized too about being a good leader, and I see this a lot in Jared too, and I'm definitely seeing it in you, is being an empath, being somebody who's very empathetic and very open to understanding people's emotions too. Because I feel like, especially in the not even just roofing, but any industry where you're making a lot of money, you have a lot of heads and stuff. Sometimes you kind of forget about that human element. I feel like, because it sometimes can become so redundant that you kind of forget that, hey, like you said, you don't know what people have going on at home or outside of work or anything like that. So being able to really connect to people in that deeper level, I feel like, is what really makes and helps you guys become even greater leaders as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, biblically, right? Like, we sin all the time. God continues to forgive us over and over. That I would say that's one of my biggest weaknesses is if somebody messes up and I forgive them so many times, like when do I got to cut them off? You know what I mean? Like I've had that instantly, like I'm sitting here helping somebody and like trying to get their mindset and like trying to build them up. When you cut them off, God never left us. You know what I mean? Like I think there is a point like where you have to decide like, okay, this is unhealthy and toxic. Obviously, you just got to figure that breaking point for us as humans. But like God does that to us every day. He never fails us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But what if they're just like sucking you dry emotionally, financially?
I mean, that's why I said you got to find that tie. Like, where do you cut them off? You know what I mean? Like, here, 1, 2 chances, 3 chances. Like, obviously, like, I'm still here for you, but I'm at a distance. You know what I mean? I forget what there's a quote out there, but basically, like, they only have so much access to you.
So you talk about something. I actually was watching a guy who I follow. He owns a mechanic shop down south, and he was talking about this on like in business, and he hires young technicians, and how he's very like, I don't yell at people, I don't get upset, I just say, hey, be honest with me, right? Don't lie to me. You were talking about what kind of traits you don't tolerate. Like for me, it would be people that just lie to you, right? Like that are going to continue to maybe lie to you. Like, hey, I went out and knocked 100 doors. They know they only did 25. Right. So like that kind of thing for me is something that I just can't tolerate. But to like tell that little quick story of what I was watching today, this content, he had a young technician, guy came in, made handful of mistakes. They said, hey, no problem. Happened again. This guy's like, oh, I didn't do this. Right. It wasn't me. Asked some other technicians in the shop, hey, really, he went to the cameras. Hey, you lied to me. Right? Like, please don't do this. I need you to be honest with me because I can work with you if you're honest with me. Right? Just be honest. Happened a second time. A little bit more stern talking to. Hey, we can't have this. We got to have an open relationship so we can talk about things and work through it. Guy was putting an engine in a car, in a truck. Loud pop happens in the shop. Engine has a big chunk of metal out of it. Can't really install an engine with a big chunk of metal out of it, right? as far as I know. I'm not a technician, but I think I know enough, right? Brings the guy in and says, hey, what happened? I don't know. I wasn't even under the truck when it happened. It just happened. Guy lies again, essentially, and he goes through this whole process, and eventually he's like, well, hey, I see you put a bolt to this, and when you try to put the transmission and the engine together, they got to match up perfectly. You can't just run a bolt in there and hammer it together. So he's like, hey, pack all your shit and go. So it's like, to his point, like, it's that 3 strikes and you're out, I think, rule with people. That's at least how I operate. Like, you have all my trust up front, right? And then as you go, we can scale that back. And at that 3rd strike, it's like, hey, that's it. We're done. That's how I operate anyway.
Yeah, because like you said, I feel like otherwise they will just continue to suck you dry. Yeah. And I've seen that firsthand. You know what I mean? And it's happened to me. You know what I mean? And it's just like you have so much love for somebody, but if they are not instilling the love in themselves, they're going to continue to use you no matter what. So it is that, you just got to find that fine line.
What if there's someone that's not necessarily like walking the line though? Like they're not lying, they're not lazy, they're just not embracing what they could be. How do you show that person or motivate that individual? And I'm asking this because this is actually something that I struggle with, and I haven't been able to find an answer. I've been on ChatGPT for hours and hours trying to figure this out. It's like, if you have an individual that could just be an absolute stud, but they're just not. How do you motivate that person? Or is it just a lost cause?
I think you can do things like he's saying, take them under your wing, like, in this business, take them out, knock 25, 30, 100 doors with them, like go till the sun sets, and hey, if we haven't gotten one, like maybe we got 20 no's that day, but like there's gonna be a yes here. We're gonna hit one, and then show them that, hey, this is possible. Look,
But what if they know it's
you.
possible? What if they've already made the money? What if they have $200,000 in their bank account?
And they're just stuck?
And they just, they're just like.
Are they content though? I mean, I guess that's where you got to. That's where like a one-on-one, I would say, like what drives you? You know what I mean? Like what are their goals? I don't know. Like we were talking about this year, like setting up like company goals, but also personal goals for the guys, and gals. Like what is money might not intrigue them. You know what I mean? They might be cool with $70,000 a year, and that's fine if that's the lifestyle you want. Absolutely, you know what I mean? So, but maybe there's something else that really drives them or gets them excited or hyped up. I guess that is where we need to come down, like not just as a boss. We got to talk to them as, humans and like as a friend, you know what I mean? Everybody in our company, should be, obviously there's business, and friendships or whatever, but like got to come to them as a human being and be like, what do you want in life, man? Like,
Personal, professional, and financial goals.
Like, what do you want?
Yep. We actually do that with everyone. We do a PPF. I'm actually happy to share that form with you.
Yeah.
That's something that I stole from Cardone Ventures.
Okay.
But it's very impactful because you're really able to get down to what motivates them.
Yeah.
Because for some people it isn't money, but I just see the potential, and it's like you could be so great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's something that I've been struggling with recently.
And the crazy thing is, they might have that potential, but maybe they don't, do they really want that for their lives? You might want it for their lives, but do they want it for their lives?
Maybe not.
And that's a hard part for us as a boss, right? Or as any leader. Like we might see the potential, but that might not be the direction they necessarily want to go. We can want it all they want, all we want for them, but it might not be the direction they actually want to go. We see the potential in them, but it might not be the potential they want. It might be something totally different. And I guess that's us as leaders or bosses or whatever, as people, when we're seeing people's true potential, you know what I mean? It's like we have to understand that what we want for somebody is not necessarily what they want for themselves.
That's powerful. What do you think is something that you guys do in your business that, and I'm not talking about like from a consumer perspective, what is something that you guys do in your business that you do offer your people that differentiates you from like another company? Other than, I mean, I've only known you a couple hours, but obviously you're a fucking great leader.
Yeah. I would say, I have an open door policy. So like everyone's been to my house, hang out at my house. You know what I mean? Like it's outside of work. You can come kick it, at Cooper Casa, like
the Cooper Casa. When do I get an invite, bro?
Whenever, man, come on up. We'll do something this summer when it's all nice. No, I mean, I'm trying to get some stuff set up. Like I said, I want to build this basically, grow a really good team so that way everyone else can benefit off of it. So I can venture into, real estate or whatever. But that's the kind of goal. Like I want to create, whether it's in real estate or whatnot, like these people, when you're building up Shingle Monkey as a team, we're all coming together and building it up and being brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like helping one another out. Like you should get benefited off of that. That's where I'm trying to create like some sort of real estate like bonus or whatnot that they all get tied to. You know what I mean? When you're with this company and you're helping this company grow, like here's this percentage into this company. You know what I mean? Or a percentage into Shingle Monkey. Like I don't plan on being the sole owner of Shingle Monkey forever. Like I want my sales team and everyone to grow into a position to where it's owned by them, internally, employee owned company. Like I feel like it would be awesome that way. It just generates, like I said, it puts not a ceiling, but it gives them a vision, like Todd here. Like I told him from day one, like I really see him owning a piece of Shingle Monkey one day. You know what I mean? We're building this together as we grow. Anybody else that wants to come on and be a true leader, like I want them to have a piece of the pie. My daughters do not want to own a roofing company. Alice wants to be a unicorn, and Skylar wants to be a veterinarian. You know what I mean?
How old?
4 is Alice, my youngest, and then Skylar. She'll be 5 in May, and then Skylar will be 10 in May.
Okay.
But and my wife wants to do a lot of nonprofits. Like I eventually want to get her out of where she's working, so that like we can go for her passion. You know what I mean? Like we've spent all these years like going after my dream and my passion. Like I want to get Shingle Monkey to a point where I can then go help my wife like reach her goals.
I love that. Well, out of curiosity, what makes your guys' relationship work?
I think we're like opposites in a big way. I'm very wild, wild west, and he's very like I keep
Corporate
bringing
America?
yeah, like you know what I mean. Like I am very anti-corporate America. I'm anti-authority, you know what I mean, corporate. Like I think that's why it works. But I think our vision is the same, and our goals are the same, and what we want things to be. You know, like when we stopped and checked your office out, like we're like, man, like that vibe, that culture, like that's what we want for the company. You know, personally, we might be a little different, but our dreams and our goals are, the same. And Todd's just a good human being, you know what I mean? Like, so we just mesh well.
So, like, beyond the money, what does winning look like? I mean, is it having the freedom? Is it starting the foundations? Is it, what does that look like to you guys?
I would say it's like giving back. To his point, he sponsors some, like charging, which is a 7-on-7 for kids, and potentially kids that may not have an opportunity to.
Isn't that it right there?
This isn't charging. This is Hustled, who does the media for charging.
Okay.
But yeah, just kids that may not have the opportunity to go and do that because hey, maybe their parents can't afford for them to travel down to Miami, Florida, and play in a 7-on-7 league or what have you. So like by just uplifting others, but just giving back. There's a guy who I know in Westlake area started a roofing company, and like he gives 10% of his profit to veterans, like just to like different like a veterans organization that he donates to at the end of each year, 10% of each each project or whatever that he does. So finding that within that special charity, that group that you want to kind of give back to. I think that's winning on a bigger level, because I think, you look at like a guy like Elon Musk, right? Everybody knows who that is. He has a ton of money. He could probably solve a ton of problems within our country if he just came off a little bit of it. But instead he wants to do things that are in his interest.
Go into space.
Go to space, right? Or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So his version of winning is different than mine, and that's okay. I'm not trying to hate on him or anything. But, it's what is it for you, like you said?
Something that I struggle with too, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, is like the shiny object syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And saying no is so powerful. Saying no to things, even saying no to people, sometimes it's like, if that situation or circumstance is going to drain you in any fashion, financially or emotionally or whatever, like, you can say no. It's very powerful. So actually, those of you listening, try it sometime. It actually works, I assure you. But, with that being said, you guys have a lot going on. What do you think is one system or one process? Fuck, we need like a little drum, like what's one system or one process that gave you guys like the biggest return on your sanity? Because in some capacity, like, you guys both have children, you have a family, you have a lot of different things that you have to pour into. Well, you can't pour into those things unless you're pouring into yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're completely drained and you have nothing left, well, then you have nothing left. So, like, what is it that you guys do, or again, the systems or process that you guys think allows you to be able to do all of these different things?
I don't know. I have ADHD, so I feel like that just makes me able to multitask in a chaotic form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I didn't take my medicine today, so sorry about that.
I personally, I like new adventures. You know what I mean? I like seeing, like, am I tapped out yet? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a part of Hustled. I sponsor the charging 7-on-7 teams, Braxton Miller's teams. And, then we have Recoup Home Solutions, which is our remodeling company. It does decks. And then we have Shingle Monkey and, and then family. Like, I just like to be able to see, like, what's my true potential. You know what I mean? I feel like that is what I'm addicted to now. Like, how much can I do? You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm trying to see. And like, I think I'm a lot of people are like, man, like you are just in a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I feel like I coordinate it pretty well, you know, and whether that's ADD or just my mindset of not like, I'm always thinking of something, you know, like I have a ton of business ideas, like I'm ready to rip, but I can't do those yet because we need to get Shingle Monkey up and rolling first, you know what I mean, and rocking. And then it's like, okay, here's our next move or whatnot. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like just trying to figure out what my true potential is in this life. You know, I feel like I haven't hit it yet.
So once you get there, right, with Shingle Monkey, what do you think personally, or even besides real estate, what's one venture you would love to go into once everything is like said and done?
Probably podcast, something like this, motivational speaking.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think that would be like some type of mentorship. Like that's my goal, whether it's, you know, prison ministries or like rehabs or just like youth, you know, who feel like, you know, they might have the talent, they might not have the resources or whatnot, or they don't feel good enough, but they are good enough. You know what I mean? Just venturing in something of that, some sort of nonprofit of that sort, I would love to get into.
That's good.
Todd, I still want to hear you answer that question if you don't mind, because you obviously have a lot going on as well.
Yeah,
Like-
I would say it's just staying organized. You know, I don't know if there's like an exact system or process to it. You know, for me, using my calendar, plugging things in, making sure I, you know,
Back to the basics.
hit everything or talk to everybody, staying in contact with our sales team, you know, and seeing where everybody's at throughout the day, like a daily check-in type of process, and or at the end of the day, hey, what do we get? What's a win? What's something that we didn't hit? That kind of process, you know, where it's like, hey, what were we planning on getting done? There's these 3 or 4 or 5 things. Well, we only hit 2 of those. Well, how do we get those other 3 boxes checked to stay on target for Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to so on and so forth?
You guys track metrics and KPIs?
We have it on AccuLinks, but that's kind of what we're trying to gear up for 2026 is to really hone in on those.
Okay. I was going to ask what's one metric you guys watch religiously that other business owners don't. But honestly, I have a ton of resources on that. I'm happy to share with you guys. I think that making realistic goals, you know, so often we're like, oh, I'm going to do 100 million this year, you know, whatever that number is. But it's like, okay, if you don't reverse engineer that, which is something that we always teach our guys, you have to have something that you can take actionable steps towards to actually achieve that goal. Because what's that saying? A goal without a plan is just, I forget what it is.
It's just a dream.
It's just a dream,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like almost having a map, basically, so that they can hit those. But I'm happy to share that with you. I think one of the things for me that helps me keep my sanity is just getting back to the basics, kind of like you said. It's like, you know, I posted this thing on Instagram recently, and it was the 4 burners of a stove. And it was family, work, health, and friends. And to be successful, like really, really fucking successful. And success is defined by everyone differently. So, you know, your version of like the ultimate human being, you have to get rid of 2 of those burners. And if you just want to be like semi-successful, you have to get rid of at least 1. And it really got me thinking like, okay, well, what am I going to sacrifice here? Is it going to be my friends? Is it going to be my health? Well, recently it has been my health, which actually I think is one of the reasons I put the gym in the warehouse selfishly, because like I have no fucking excuses now. I have a gym in my basement at my house, and I have a gym at the office. So it's like, if I don't work out, I'm just a piece of shit. So like, but that has been something that I've been sacrificing is my health, to reach that level. And something that, you know, does help me keep my sanity most of the time was working out, you know, because it's just such a useful tool. You can handle more stress. You can really see what that like max out or tap out point is.
Yeah.
You guys follow Ed Milet?
I don't.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
familiar
man.
with him.
Ed Milet.
Yeah.
You had dinner with him?
No, I'm familiar with him.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was
yeah.
like, wow, bro.
That would be sick. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah,
pretty
last
sure
Tuesday we went
goals.
to dinner.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he charges like $25K for a dinner with him
Probably.
or something crazy.
And you got to pick up the dinner
Yeah,
bill.
that's what I'm saying. You have to get the dad
For
too.
the dinner.
His famous saying is, you know, 1 more rep or max out. That's the name of his company. That's why I thought that was so cool that you said that. But just back to the basics, like using the calendar. Communication is like really big for us. It takes 5 seconds to send a text message.
Yeah.
And just, not overcomplicating it, because I feel like so often, especially with AI and all this technology, we're always trying to like reinvent the wheel. And specifically for this industry, it's like back to the basics. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to have drones installed on your roofs. But
I'm all about that. Simple for me. Simplicity. Like, I love simplicity. Keep it simple.
Keep it KISS.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid. Well, and it has brought me a lot of peace, like saying back to the saying no thing, like saying no to things, because if you guys aren't filled up as a leader, like you literally can't pour into people.
Right.
And that's the whole point of leadership, is like you're trying to pour into the people on your team so that you can really positively impact them. And then there's just a ripple effect, right? It's like throwing a rock into a pond. And that's what really motivates me, is like, especially with this show, because there's people that have listened to this from other countries, which I think is so crazy, because I'm not like running ads or anything, but it's like, if I can just say one thing that maybe changes that mindset, like you had that major mindset shift, if I can say one thing or have a guest on that, positively impacts one thought that changes this individual's life, maybe they change someone's life and they change someone's life, and it just
trickle effect.
And that's what honestly like really motivates me to keep doing the things that I'm doing. But if people want to find you guys on social media, because Trent, you're pretty big on social media.
Yeah, I'm pretty big on Facebook and Instagram.
So where can people find you guys?
So Facebook, it's just Trenton Cooper, and then Instagram.
Will you spell that for us?
Yeah. So it's Trenton, Trenton, and then Cooper, Cooper. And then my Instagram handle is The Risen. So TheRisn. Oh man, see, here we go. No schooling. What was I spelling?
Did you drop out of college? Or did you
I never went to college. I didn't even make it to college.
So you were a
man.
college guy.
Yeah, I went for a couple years.
You can
see.
You can tell I'm not a college guy. I
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
there,
it's
by the
okay.
way,
I didn't even.
I can't spell for
I didn't
shit.
even graduate on time. So I actually ended up paying a girl who did graduate on time to finish my math class so I could get my diploma the following year. Anyway, it's The Risen.
Hopefully you're
Anchor.
outside of the statute of limitations there,
Yeah,
so they
whatever.
can't come back and like get
I don't
it from
need
you.
it at this point anyways.
Far past it.
I never used it.
And Todd, where can they find you?
So Facebook's going to be my first name, Todd. It's Todd. My middle name, Phillip, Phillip. And then on Instagram, it's going to be trademarked. So TradeMarked, the number 21. That's my handle.
There we go.
Let's
21.
make Todd famous.
Let's make Todd famous. And real quick before we end this thing, I do have two questions for you guys. If you could go back and tell, and real quick, how old are you guys? You're
37.
37?
I'll be 36 this year.
Okay. If you could go back, 10, 12 years and tell your 25-year-old self, or maybe even a little bit further, your 20-year-old self, one thing other than like, invest in Bitcoin, right? What would that one thing be?
Ooh, mine would be you are enough.
Love that. You are enough.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with the same thing. I would maybe say, hey, don't go to all the parties and stay away from the weed.
Yeah. So just being more disciplined.
Just be more disciplined, yeah. If I would have been a little bit more disciplined in my early 20s, I don't know. I'd probably be sitting on a beach in, the Keys or something like that.
One of my biggest fears is like I'm on my deathbed and I'm just wishing to myself like if I would have just been a little bit more disciplined, if I would have just went a little bit harder, if I would have just got one more rep. Like that's why I try on Life Max as well. I feel like that's like a thing going around on social recently. But, if I'm not going as hard as I possibly can, I'm going to have that regret. Like I already know it. And that's I think my biggest fear. I do not want to be on my deathbed like, well, what if I would have done this?
Yeah.
I already know I'm going to be that way with children because like Brittany and I aren't having kids. And I know for a fact that's going to be like my one regret and hopefully my only regret. But then we have our reasons, which, we don't need to get into. I think that I can impact a lot of people. Yeah. Obviously, there's two sides to every story, but that's our decision. I don't think we're going to have children, and I want that to be my only regret. So I think if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be something very similar. Like, stick with the basics and just stay disciplined. 100%. Jair, I'd actually love to hear that from you too, man. What would be one thing? You're a little bit younger than us.
Yeah.
But, like, what would be one thing you could go back and tell your younger self? Because we do have younger listeners. And honestly, like, you're sponsoring a high school football team.
Yeah.
So we might have some high school players listening to this.
I would say definitely, number one, be your own best friend. Because I feel like people don't really understand the impact that it has, that when you feel like nobody believes in you, when you feel like nobody wants to be your friend or whatever it may be, all the negative thoughts, I genuinely think that now one of the things that I learned finally at like 29 years old was the fact that even when I feel like nobody's around, I have myself. And as long as I have myself, I genuinely feel like I'll always be okay. That and God, of course. But besides that, I would really just say believe in yourself and work hard. All the times, like you were saying too, Todd, like the parties and whatnot, like those are great, but in moderation. Everybody has the ability, and you're going to be able to party even harder when you have all the success that you want, So at the end of the day, just work hard and believe in yourself, genuinely.
And I think something so pivotal is, like, the moment that you guys are almost about to tap out, which arguably is the loneliest place. That's where you're actually going to find yourself. It's not going to Bali and going on some spiritual ashwagandha journey, or ayahuasca, not ashwagandha, ayahuasca anyway. Finding yourself, in my opinion, is doing hard shit, and really doing shit that almost breaks the fuck out of you, because that's how you truly find what you're capable of and who you are.
And to touch on that too, and I was telling the guys, like, literally, guys, so for you guys who don't know, my name is Jair, and I just moved up here from Atlanta about 2 months ago. And I basically moved up here, I'm not even lying, with all my rent stuff paid up for the first month. I think I had $1,500 in my name. And so I worked, and I was always praying because I always wanted the opportunity. The biggest reason why I moved up here was because I wanted an opportunity to show that I could do social media, I could do content creation, and really help a brand build. And so talking about feeling kind of hopeless and on your last, leg, I basically was maybe a week or two from being homeless, and I'm not even kidding. And I've told Jared this too, and the moment that he gave me that call and he said that he believed in my vision and what I could do for him and his brand, that's when I knew I was about to go crazy and about to go turn up as hard as I possibly could. So now we're here. And
Let's go.
I'm extremely grateful, and I'm just excited, man, because I feel like what I'm going to be able to bring to Roof King is going to kind of revolutionize, like, the space for social media and roofing. So I want to be able to help really just bring another thing, too, a lot of roofing companies together. I think that's going to be a great thing, and I feel like a lot of you guys have good camaraderie, so I really want to be able to help build that as well in the long run.
Love that.
So,
do you guys
culture?
You guys read? I would imagine at some capacity.
I read the Bible and, like, biblical books, inspirational books and stuff like that.
So I was going to ask, but I think you just answered my question. If there's one book or podcast or something you guys could recommend to the listeners to, better themselves, give them some free game.
I actually have. It's called Dialed In by Jim Ramos. It's called Reaching Your Full Capacity as a Man of God.
Nice.
So it's a good one right here.
Wow,
I just got into it, but basically it goes over, like, reaching your full potential in a religious form. You know what I mean? Like, what is our full potential that God has for us? Like, we have our own plans, but God, like, might be like, cool, well, here's, like, one rose. That's our plan. When God has, like, a full bouquet over here for us. You know what I mean? So that's basically what this book talks about, reaching that full potential that God wants for us.
Have you already finished it and you're reading it again, or you're reading it right now?
Just starting it.
Okay.
I just kind of, like, know the book from going through, like, some other life groups and stuff like that where we've discussed it.
Nice. I'm glad you plugged that.
Yeah, it's a good book, though.
Not that it's like I love history, and so I think we can learn a lot from the past, right? Like, hey, past civilizations make mistakes, right? World wars, things of that nature. Not that it's like a book that is, like, very motivational, just a really cool story. One of my favorite books, We Were Soldiers Once. Awesome read. I highly recommend it. It's about the Vietnam War. Just the storytelling in that book. I believe they definitely made a movie out of it as well. But just following, a couple of those soldiers and the struggles that they went through can give you kind of like, to your point, hey, you're going through something tough. Well, hey, look at how these guys had it. Like, we actually have it really freaking good.
Yeah. It's so interesting, and breaking my leg really opened my eyes to this, is like, we take so much for granted. And like, even walking.
Yeah.
Like running up and down my stairs, when I'm not very organized. I think I am. My wife would disagree. And, just like she's the one that's been running up and down the stairs recently, and it's just like, we have so much. Like, I love that you said you are enough. Like, we have so much. Like, we all have clothes and we have a roof over our head and like we have vehicles, and like, you don't need a fucking yacht and a helicopter to like be successful. And I just think that was such an internal battle that I struggled with, because I saw, growing up, because I've wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was, a young kid, like 8 years old. And I've always been super entrepreneurial, like the car washing business when I was younger, the landscape and mowing the lawns, or, I've had a bunch of different companies that I've failed miserably at, which has helped me with Roof King and, the ventures I'm in now. But it's just like, I always thought that the epitome of success was like being a billionaire, or, something that I would always tell myself is, I'll work so hard and I'll be happy when, and I think as soon as you guys can realize that, like, you can, and I know that this is all over the internet and so cliche to say, but like, enjoying the journey
is
just gonna say so powerful. Like, just be happy. Like, just choose happiness. Like, bad shit is going to fucking happen, and that's okay. Like, embrace that emotion and move on. And we always talk about at Roof King, like, it's 99% how you react to something. It's only 1% what that thing actually is. It's 99% how you react to it. And like, just like, honestly, what you said, Trent, like, you are enough. Like, you don't need all of this shit to be happy. You guys can be happy right now. So
and that's the thing. You just got to find what is your key to happiness. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. They don't know what actually makes them happy. You know what I mean? And when you dig deep and find what makes you happy, life changes. You know what I mean? For me, it used to be money or things and stuff. Now I'll sell my house and live in a camper as long as I got my family. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool.
How would you recommend someone find that? How do they find out what truly makes them happy?
I mean, for me, like, I'm a big religious person. Like I said, I do a lot of praying and meditating and stuff like that. So, like, that's kind of how I looked at, I would say God presented it to me. You know what I mean? Was like, it was right in front of me. What made me happy was right in front of me the whole time. You know what I mean? I just didn't see it because I was consumed in alcohol the whole time. What makes them, what makes these people happy might be right in front of them, but they might have a habit, or they're just too busy or living in chaos that they can't see that it's right in front of them. So maybe just slow down a little bit, pray on it. You know what I mean? God, reveal what my happiness is.
I love that.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from the Bible, right? Just a quote was Jeremiah 29:11, where it says that God would never put anything on your shoulders that is too much for you to handle.
100%.
So,
and sometimes it may feel like that.
Yeah.
But you just got to take one more step.
That's
keep
it.
on going, man.
No, I mean, one of my favorite things, like, I like to tell people is, live and enjoy the chaos. 100%. With kids, like, life is just chaos. Girls get off the school bus at 5. We got to be at gymnastics at 5:30. Like, we're just running around like hamsters. You know what I mean? Like, it's chaos. And me and my wife are like screaming, yelling at each other. But then we get there and we get to watch our kids, you know what I mean, do the gymnastics that they love and see their joy. Bro, it's all worth it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the key to it. Live and enjoy the chaos, man, because that's what life is. It's a bunch of chaos.
That's all it is.
Just enjoy it.
I know for a fact this is going to be a long friendship. I really appreciate you guys making the trip down here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. Like I said, he's like, how do you know this guy? I'm like, Instagram. Like, we just started following each other, man. Like, whatever.
I get in the truck. I'm like, is this the first time you met him? He's like, yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, it's been cool. Thank you for having us.
Todd's like, what the fuck are you taking?
I said, we're going to Columbus, man. Hop in. We're going.
But no, I think that this was a super impactful recording, and I really appreciate you guys coming down and being vulnerable and pouring, everything you got into this, because selfishly, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed getting to know you guys, and I can already tell like this is going to be a cool, lifelong friendship. Yeah. So hopefully you guys feel the same way.
Oh, 100%.
Jair, where can people find you on social media?
For me, it's at the Jair Martinez Johnson. If you guys need me to DJ any kind of party, just let me know.
There we go. There we go.
He's on the ones and twos.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on Sack Up.
Thank you.
I need to think of like something to say at the end of these shows.
Like a closing statement?
I need like a closing statement. Do I just chat GPT that shit?
Oh, man.
We got to come up with
You're usually pretty good with jingles.
I mean, dude, the stash will save you cash. I figured asking you is like the move.
I'm working. You should have asked me ahead of time.
I should have
had something.
That is such a good slogan.
Because we could use something with the Sack Up.
Well, and it's so funny. Obviously, we designed this a specific way for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just about, building confidence and building your bank account, but I don't know. I thought that the 2 bags of money was like kind of funny. Inappropriate, probably.
If you ain't sacking, you lacking. Sack up.
There we go. Until next time, folks. Peace.